Have you gone through the notes which I had posted on the classroom yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we had covered with first unit, second unit. One topic is remaining from the second unit that I will take it today. And for any doubts, also you can tell me at the end. Fine. So the concept of virtual base class was remaining that I will cover it. I'll just share my screen. Okay. Is it visible better? Screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just a minute. I'm trying to share the whiteboard. Let me know whether it is visible to all of you.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Whiteboard is I'm sharing my whiteboard, but I don't know why it is not visible to you. Now it is visible. Now is it visible?
No, ma'am. Only members.
Sorry.
Assist.
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
only
No, ma'am.
members.
Whiteboard is not visible.
Ma'am, we are participants, no? That's why.
That whiteboard is not getting shared. It is only opened at my end, but not getting shared. Visible or only screen?
Only screen is visible, ma'am. Only
Oh,
screen is visible.
okay, okay. Let it be then. I'll stop. That is only opened at my end, but it is not getting visible to you, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let it be. Now my screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll go with the concept of the we had discussed about the the types of, and in the notes which I had shared yesterday, the number of codes that were also there. You just go through it because it will be with you only. So the videos and the the notes you can go through number of times. You have your even in the next week. So for that, okay. So I just try to open my pen. Now this is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so I'll
ma'am.
demonstrate here only. Let it be then. So what I will do, sup, uh, just so what I'm doing is you can see I'm just trying to elaborate about this one. So if this is a kind of a relationship, so just imagine it because whiteboard is not shared, so I'm trying to demonstrate here. So imagine that this is my base class. Fine. So I will just write it here. Any, for example, you're writing here as an A, and then this is my B, and then this is C. So this is which kind of inheritance? This is an hierarchical kind of inheritance. Fine. It's a tree-like structure. So it is hierarchical one. Now what I'm doing is at the end, I'm going to have one more class from class B and class C. So it will be like this. This will be a relationship. Can anyone tell me which is the shape? It's a diamond shape, right? So now here I'm just going to rename this class. It is a D. So in this type of structure, what will happen? I'm having my base class here. Now I'm demonstrating, I'm deriving two classes from this base class. Find B and C. So what will happen after this relationship? This is an is a relationship. Fine. And this is also an is a relationship. What will happen? When you're deriving it, of course, this class, that is class B, can access the properties of itself and also the properties of A. Similarly, when I'm going to derive class C from class A, this class object can access the properties of itself and also the properties of A. Fine. But then after that, what I'm doing is, if you can see here, this is a kind of multiple inheritance. Fine. So, what is multiple inheritance? What does it say? That when I'm deriving a class from multiple base classes. So here this is I'm having one class as in B, fine, which is already a derived class, a child class for some another class. And C is again a base class here for D, but it is a child for A. So you can see there is no direct relationship amongst A and D. Is there any relationship you can see? Direct relationship? No. Fine. But yes, there is a relationship between A and D via B and C. This means the object of this particular class D can access the data of B, can access the data of C, and also can access the data of A through this class and through this class. So there are two ways how the data can be accessed. This is the one way, fine, and this is the another way. So there are two ways how the data can be accessed. But what will be the problem? Now you can see once I can access the data from this route. Second, I can access the data from this route. So what is the problem with this? My data is getting passed on or accessed twice. You can see multiple times it is from here and from here. So two copies will be inherited for this A. One will be through B and one will be through C. So will it create any issue for the compiler when the execution will be done? So yes, there will be an issue, and the issue will called as an ambiguity. That how can I access the data of E from A as there is no direct relationship in between these two classes. Fine. And this problem of diamond inheritance is called as an ambiguity. Fine. So there can be the questions like multiple choice questions. What is the problem? Which shape is there? So that is a diamond shape. Now, where the ambiguity is, so ambiguity is when we are accessing the data of A through B and through C. Now, how it can be, resolved. So let's move to the another screen. I'll just open my compiler. So similar thing, I will demonstrate here now. This one. Uh, you are getting what I'm talking about? Let me know. Are you getting what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just demonstrate here. You can see I'm writing my class. Sorry. I'm writing a class A here. Fine. Sorry. Then, then what I'm doing here, simple thing in the public section, I'll try to take one variable here, integer A is equals to 10. Then now this structure I wanted to do. Fine. So what I will do, I will inherit B from A and I will inherit C from A. So similarly, I will do here. So this is my parent class. You can note down these things in your copy if you wish. Then I'm doing another class, class B, which I'm inheriting publicly. You can do it private also from, sorry, from class A. Not writing anything. Fine. Just class C again. I'm inheriting from, again, we know we are inheriting from A. So this is the diamond structure we had created till now. I'm having my parent class and from there I'm inheriting my two classes. Now, as for this particular thing, I need to have one more class which is inherited from B and C. Which kind of inheritance this is? Can anyone tell me? This one
Multiple
is with,
inheritance.
very good. This is a
Multiple.
multiple inheritance. Fine. So let's try to write it. You all know about the syntax now. So I'm a bit sure that you're confident about this now. Fine. How to write the syntaxes and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now this is class D. What I will do, I'll just add one constructor here. This is my class D. So I will just, sorry, just add one constructor. Hello. I am in derived class. Fine. Now what I'm doing? Now you can see I didn't created any relationship from D and A. I had just had a relationship from A to D, and I'm having a relationship from A to D via B and C. So I had created that kind of relationship here. You can see. Fine. That's it. I did. So I can access the data of B. I can access the data of C. Now what I will do, if you can see this diagram, I told you that I can access the data of A through B and through C also. So let's try whether it is possible. So I'm having one variable here, integer A. I'll just try to access it from here as this is the child class for B and C. As this is the child class for B and C. Fine. So after that, what I'm doing is like I'm inheriting from B and C, and B and C are inherited from A. So I can say that D is inherited from A by any means, right? So I'll try here with my object. So let's try to access it, whether it is possible to access. I'll try to access that A. To print it here. What I did, it is possible, fine. But whether it is executable, let's see. What I did, this is the public member. So I just tried to access it with the help of an object of child class. This is giving me an error. What kind of error? Can anyone read it out, please? Can anyone read it out for me? What is this?
Request for member A is ambiguous.
Very good. Request for member A is ambiguous. Ambiguous in the meaning is, now here, what is happening? A is a data member of your class A, but when you are accessing via object of D, two copies are inherited for a same variable A. One will be from A to B and then B to D, and for second, it will be from A to C and then C to D. So whatever is the variable for this class A, this A will be inherited twice via this and via this. So hence, this is an ambiguity for the compiler, that which variable should I need to access. So there will be an ambiguity. Now, how to resolve this ambiguity? I don't have an exact or the actual relationship between these two. So can I do like this? That can I create a some kind of relationship between A and D directly? So the answer is yes, I can create such relationship, and this relationship is called as a virtual relationship between this class and this class. And in that case, when this particular class A is called as a virtual class. This class is called as a virtual class. When, see, if I'm not having this class here, inheritance is not there, then in that case, this is a normal inheritance. So there is no issue for ambiguity, fine, for the compiler. But I'm inheriting, if I'm working with this kind of relationship where I'm inheriting two classes from this and again single class from these two classes, child classes, then there will be a problem for this. So what will happen? In that case, what will happen? There will be multiple copies of that variable A will be, inherited. And this is not feasible for my compiler to understand that which copy I need to inherit it. So in that case, what we can do, I can create a direct relationship from A to D. And in that case, I will say this A is my virtual base class. So now, when the compiler understands that this is a virtual base class, whenever that keyword is coming, compiler understands that only one copy of that will be created. Either it may be a variable, either it may be a function. Okay, so that will be done. So how it will be like, now what will happen? So what will happen? How the syntax will be? In that case, your base function, just a minute. So in that case, what will happen? What we can do, where we are doing the inheritance, in that case, we can do the virtual relationship. I can make this class as a virtual. Now, what is the syntax of writing it? I will just write it here. Like, for example, class B, colon. You can make this class as a virtual class. So it will be virtual. Then you will be writing your public and then A. Now, this is not for B and C. This is only for that base class, which is a super class, right? So which is a super class here? A. So for that A, it is a virtual one. Fine. So this is one syntax of making your class as a virtual base class. Whenever the compiler control is coming onto this virtual keyword, compiler understands that only one copy of that class will be there. Immediately it will be understood by the compiler. No issue for that. Okay. So only one copy will be inherited either through B, either through C. So ambiguity can be resolved. So another syntax is, this is one syntax, and another syntax is, you can write like this also. Instead of writing virtual prior, you can write down like this: public virtual A. This is another syntax, right? So these are the two ways to write down or make your class, parent class, super class as in virtual class. So I will just write here a keyword virtual. In second case, also fine. Whenever I'm saying that my super class need to be inherited, so I don't need to make its visibility as in virtual. So I will make it as in virtual here. So either I can write down like this, either I can write down like this. Now let's try to execute. So see, I just did this one virtual. So whenever my control is coming, compiler control will come here first, then the compiler control is going here. From here, the control will go to your derived class D, and then the control will pass on to B and C. So control will first pass to B. So control आया यहाँ पे. फिर B का control कहाँ जाएगा? Not go in the definition directly. It will go to its base class. So which is its base class? A, right? Now, when the compiler control is coming to this virtual keyword, compiler tells itself like that I need to have only one copy of this variable of this class A. Fine, not the multiple copies. Immediately the control will move here. This will be executed. Fine. So once it is executed, next the control is going to go to your public C. Control will come here. Fine. Again, the same class you're talking about, but this is actually already executed. So compiler understands with the virtual keyword that I had already implemented this. Why should I again implement this? So this will not be implemented. Fine. And then the control will come inside your derived class definition and this will be executed. So whatever it is, fine. So in that case, it is executed. Yes, sorry, the constructor of derived class will be executed, and then in that way, the object variable is now accessible. Previously, it was not accessible. Why? Because ambiguity was there. The variable A was going to be accessed from B and from C, but now it is accessible directly as I had created a relationship like this. So this is what we are talking about, a virtual base class. Uh, Use a virtual base class to create a direct relationship from your child class with your super base class, fine? And in that case, super base class is also called as a virtual base class. Just to resolve the ambiguity, we can use this thing. Another syntax is also there, that is a scope resolution operator. But just for you, now you have to remember that why virtual base class is used. And which class will be virtual? Your super parent class will be a virtual, not the child. Fine. The intermediate child classes will not be a virtual because these are the direct parents for D. A is not the direct parent for C. Fine. D. So when there is a not a direct parent, you can make that particular as a virtual base class. So where in which particular type of inheritance combination the problem of ambiguity will be resolved? So the answer can be when there is an hierarchical and multiple inheritance, there is a problem of ambiguity. Okay, so ambiguity can be resolved by using the virtual base class. When you are, which class will be virtual base class? Your super class will be a virtual base class. So this is my super class. I'll just paste this code
Hello, ma'am.
into the chat box. Yes.
Ma'am, actually, Namrata ma'am has asked to join the lecture.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. For now, we'll stop here. I have pasted the code in the chat box. I wish you understood this.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll take the attendance. Don't leave. Okay. You all can leave now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The code is pasted. You just go through it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. For any doubts, we can just go meet it on Monday again. Okay. Chalo. Bye for now. Okay. Bye.